Have you ever felt like you're working your tail off, but your bank account just isn't getting the memo? It's a super common feeling, and it's incredibly frustrating. Well, today we're going to get into three very specific habits that might be trapping you in that financial loop. And more importantly, we're going to lay out the exact keys you need to finally break free.
It's such a tough question, isn't it? You're putting in the work, you're trying to be smart with your money, but it just feels like you're stuck on a financial treadmill, just running in place. And then you see other people building wealth, and you can't help but think, what am I missing? What's their big secret? The thing is, it's usually not some big secret formula. It's about the quiet, powerful habits that we fall into every single day.
And that's exactly why we're calling these habits invisible chains, because you can't always see them clearly, but man, you can definitely feel their weight. They are quietly keeping you from the future you're working so hard for. But, and this is the most important part, for every single one of those chains, there is a specific key. And today, we're going to put those keys right into your hands.
All right, so let's jump right into the first one, and probably the most common chain of all, the spending trap. This is like financial quicksand. It trips up so many people right from the get-go.
Okay, so this one might sound super obvious, right? Spend less than you make. Duh. But the crazy thing is how sneaky it is. It's almost never one huge purchase that sinks your financial ship. It's the 1,000 tiny little leaks. The daily coffee, that streaming subscription you forgot about, those it's only $5 impulse buys. It all adds up. And pretty soon, you're stuck in this exhausting cycle of playing financial catch-up, and the stress that comes with it is it's a lot.
So you look at this, and a $200 hole doesn't seem like a total disaster, right? It's so easy to think, I'll just toss it on a credit card, deal with it next month. But that's exactly when the trap snaps shut. Because later becomes next month, and then the month after that. That small leak suddenly turns into a flood of high-interest debt. And now you're just trying to bail water instead of actually sailing anywhere. That right there is the trap in action.
Okay, so let's say you've crushed it. You've mastered your spending, you've plugged all those leaks. Awesome. But that still doesn't guarantee you'll move forward. And that brings us to our second chain, which is less about doing something wrong and more about what you're not doing.
So, you've dodged the spending trap, you're saving money every month, and look, that's a huge win. But here's the problem. If that hard-earned money is just parked in a regular old savings account, it's basically taking a long nap. And while it's snoozing, inflation is quietly eating away at its spending power. This is what we call opportunity loss. It's like the ghost of the wealth you could have built if you had just put that money to work.
I mean, just look at this chart. It tells you everything you need to know. On the left, that's your money in a savings account over 10 years. See how it barely moves? It's barely keeping up with the cost of living. But on the right, that's the exact same amount of money, just invested in the market. The difference is staggering. That massive gap between those two bars, that is the real, tangible cost of stagnation.
And all of this leads us right to our third and final chain, and in a lot of ways, this is the anchor that holds the other two chains firmly in place. It's the knowledge gap. Let's be honest for a second. Personal finance can feel, it can feel like trying to read a different language, can it? All this jargon, all these complicated sounding ideas. The natural reaction for a lot of us is to just tune it out. We avoid the books, we scroll past the articles, and we just kind of hope for the best. But this isn't just procrastinating. It's a habit, and it's that habit of avoidance that keeps you from realizing that a budget is really just a simple plan, or that investing can actually be straightforward. The wall isn't that you can't learn it. It's the habit of not even trying.
And Benjamin Franklin absolutely nailed it hundreds of years ago. When you invest in your own financial education, it pays you back in ways no stock market ever could. It's not just about money. The real interest you're earning is confidence. It's clarity, and it's the feeling of taking back control of your own life. All right. Enough about the problems. We've spent enough time talking about the chains holding you back. Because the most important part of all of this isn't just knowing the chains exist. It's knowing that you can absolutely break them. So let's flip this around. It's time to talk about the keys.
And what I love about this is how simple and direct it is. This isn't a bunch of random advice. For each chain, there's a specific countermove, a specific key. To break the spending trap, you don't just try to spend less. No, you master your budget. To escape the stagnation trap, you activate your money. And to close that knowledge gap for good, you commit to build your knowledge. See? It's a clear one-to-one game plan.
So this is it. This is your action plan, broken down into 3 steps. First, master your budget.
And this isn't about feeling deprived. It's about getting crystal clear on where your money is going. Give every single dollar a job to do before the month even starts. Second, activate your money. Get it out of the savings account dugout and into the game. You can start really small with something like a low-cost index fund. The important thing is just to start. And third, build your knowledge. Make a small commitment. Read one chapter of a finance book a week or watch one good explainer on investing. These 3 keys, when you use them together, don't just break the chains, they build a whole new foundation.
Okay, so we've laid out the chains and we've talked about the keys. But knowing the combination to a lock doesn't actually open it, right? You have to physically put the key in and turn it. So let's bring this all home and figure out what your first step is. I want you to just pause for a second and be really, truly honest with yourself. Looking at these 3 chains, which one feels the heaviest for you right now? Is it that slow, constant drain from overspending? Is it that feeling of paralysis, of not knowing how or where to invest? Or is it just feeling totally overwhelmed by how much there is to learn? Figuring out your main struggle isn't about admitting you failed. It's about finding your starting line.
At the end of the day, this is what it's all about. You can't go back in time and start investing 10 years ago. It's gone. But you have complete and total power over this moment, right here. Breaking these habits isn't some giant, painful life change that happens overnight. It's about the very next choice you make. It's choosing to track your spending today. It's choosing to open that investment account this week. It's about choosing to start. Because your journey to financial freedom, it doesn't begin someday. It begins right now.